What's up? Welcome. I am back with the Dark Units, and we are finishing up the series, and we can get back to fun things next week. Here we go. You got the whiffs. You already know. Let's get into it. We got the 3-star Steel Wings when it wants to switch over. There we go. At 6-star, he gets 20% accuracy. He's got decent speed. I love this guy in Tunnel. I really like him. He's very good. He throws up a lot of debuffs. He's got this skill 3, Dark Mist. Attack all enemies 2 times with a 70% chance to inflict 2 turns of defense down and damage over a turn with each attack. That is awesome. I believe I've seen him throw up 2 turns of damage over turn. Yes, yes I have. Yes I have. A lot of times. Very good. Yes. 70% chance to do it twice. Skill 2 slow, attack all enemies and has a 70% chance to inflict a 2-turn speed down and absorbs action bar by 10% each. Very good for Tunnel. Skill 1 Shadow Bolt, attack an enemy 2 times. Each attack has a 50% chance to remove 1 buff. So he also strips. Very good unit. Dark Clockwork. Awesome little guy. Light Alloy passive. Increase speed by 15 for each buff possessed. After attacking, grant yourself 1 turn of speed up and have a chance to inflict 1 turn of stun. The faster your speed, the higher the chance. He is really fun when you make him a lot of fast and you get a lot of guys with buffs. Like he can do some serious pop. Attack an enemy. This attack ignores target's defense. Damage is based on your speed. The faster you make him with this passive, he can get really fast and he can do a lot of damage. Skill 1 knock. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turn speed down. Damage is based again on your speed. Fantastic unit. I like him all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I have taken him in and he will one-shot a bear. Dark Popo Rider. She gets 20% resistance when she is 6-starred. She has a Dark Teammate attack skill like all Popo Riders. Skill 3, Popo Guardian passive. Damage received from Light Element is decreased by 50%. From others is decreased by 20%. Grant you 1 turn of unyield and reflect if received fatal damage. Popo Assault. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turn defense down and attack down. Defense and attack down. Swing, attack 1, or skill 1. Attack an enemy with a 70% chance to inflict 2 turns of blind. She's a pretty good unit, honestly. She's not horrible. She'd be good for one of those the survival simulator. She'd probably do pretty well in survival simulator. And obviously she'd be good for PvP content. Dark Dome Fighter. This girl does not get enough hype. She is fantastic. I may build 3. All right. I might just start just building every single one I get. Like, she is so good. She is slow, but it don't matter. She has a guild accuracy leader skill of 25%. She gets 15% crit rate when she is 6-starred. She has this bounce ball passive, which is just great. The ball you throw will bounce to an additional enemy, but the damage is reduced by 20%. Could not give a shit less, all right? Wild Pitch, skill 2. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turns of defense down. Increases 50% of your action bar each if you land a critical hit. Damage is based on your defense. You are going to hit twice because of the bounce ball passive. So you want her to crit because that will give her a 100% crit action bar, and that will put her right into her consecutive drive. And then this will also go with the passive. Attack an enemy 2 times, so she's going to hit 2 times and then bounce both times to other enemies. Each attack inflicts a 1 turn stun with a 60% chance once she is skilled up. Damage is based on your defense, and again, she is an accuracy leader, so she already buffs her accuracy. This girl is phenomenal. I have watched her kick my ass on multiple occasions because she is wicked good. Dark Hog Chef, she just got a buff. She gains 15 speed when she is 6-starred, bumping her up to a 105, 110 once she is all stacked up. That is a phenomenal speed. She has an 18% accuracy leader skill for everyone. Magical Hamburger is what got the buff. It now removes all debuffs from all allies and grants them 2 turn speed up and effect up, and you gain an extra turn after using this ability. And then she also has Bandage skill 2, remove incurable from another random debuff from an ally target, recover HP by 36%. So, if someone has uncurable, she can cleanse it off and then help them heal. And then she grants a 1 turn defense up, which will increase their defense for a while. That's a good little skill right there. Good little skill. Get through the incurable. Skill 1 charge, attack an enemy and increase the action bar by 10% of the ally with the highest action bar. Highest action bar. Great little unit. She got a huge buff. This is fantastic for her. I am so happy that she is now usable for a lot of different places. This will help her all over the place. Dungeons. She might start being used in other. Yeah, I could see her getting used in Juggernaut for cheap teams. Maybe even Abyss. Abyss as well. She could be a great little unit. Save a lot of cost. Dark Sharpshooter. I love this unit. She is great everywhere. PvE, PvP. I use her in Juggernaut. I use her in like a bunch of my Abyss teams. At 6-star, she improves her sharp shot damage based on target debuff count. So more debuffs, the more damage her sharp arrow does. Said she gets the Dark Teammates 18 speed lead. Skill 3 is where she does her damage. It's her wounding mark. Attack an enemy. Inflict 2 turns of defense down and mark. Damage increased by 30% for each debuff on the target. I like setting her intelligence so that this skill goes first, so she buffs herself first before she does anything else. And then she also has other units that teams up with 2 allies here. She grants herself 2 turns of crit up, and then teams up with 2 allies to attack. So ideally, you have her with other units that have skill 1 debuffs, and then when she moves again, her wounding mark will also hit with those debuffs on top of the defense down and mark. That is the design I go with for my stuff, but I really like this unit. She is fantastic. Dark Turtle Tank. I will admit I slept on him for a little bit, but if you've been watching my series, all turtle tanks are great. Really nice base speed. At 6-star, he becomes an HP elemental leader. Believe it is 25% or something. I don't know. I don't ever use it. I don't think I have him 6-starred yet, but I will be. Got this Twisted Shell passive. When attacked, apply 2 turns of block to the attacker with a 15% chance to additionally apply 1 turn of stun. Additionally, your chance of receiving a critical hit is reduced by 50%, and this effect cannot stack. And it's still a 50% drop, so that's a really good passive. Recoil. Attack an enemy 2 times. Each attack has a 70% chance to stack 1 turn taunt. Then when this skill is in cooldown, there is a 70% chance to a counterattack when attacked. Damage is based on your max HP. Skill 1, Air Cannon. Attack an enemy, has a 50% chance to inflict a one-turn stun, damage based on your max HP. I have heard people using this passive in Tunnel. I've heard them using this passive all over the place um, because it rebounds block. Uh, Heard this could be pretty good for the uh, anonymous dungeon. Um, he's not in my team, but I really like this guy, the Dark Bouncing Joker. He got a huge nerf. He was my Vegas cheat code for a while, and then they nerfed him. But he is still a gray unit. I will fight anyone who says otherwise. 6-star, he becomes an attack leader. Black Humor passive. The crit rate increases by 30% when you attack or get attacked. When hit by a critical attack, counter attack with half damage, and you do not die from the attack. This guy is great PvP. He he never dies, and he just whacks people back. It's great. Chain Slap skill 2, attack an enemy 2 times and attack consecutively with a 40% chance. Like I've said, I have seen these chain slaps just go on and on and on and on. This is a fantastic move. I really like it. So much fun to watch him just go off. And then Soft Slap, the uh, revenge mechanic from the Black Humor. Attack an enemy and inflict one turn of attack down. This attack ignores enemy's defense. He can hit really hard. It is really fun to play with him against some of these defenses in Territory War. I'm not gonna lie. Dark Giant. This guy is fantastic. Fantastic for Tunnel. Probably good other places, but I only use him in Tunnel. At 6-star, he improves Call to Arms. He gets a speed up, recovers 24% of your max HP when it is skilled up. Great skill 2. He has a Dungeon Crit Leader skill for all enemies, 18%. Skill 3, Seismic Waves. Attack all enemy and decrease their action bar by 50%. Inflict one turn stun if target's action bar is depleted, damage based on your defense. We already went over skill 2. Skill 1, Body Press. Attack an enemy and inflict one turn of taunt. With a 80% chance once skilled up, damage is again based on your max HP. He's a really nice tank. Heals for a lot of HP. You have 24% of your max HP, so you want to have high max HP, and then you want to also be tanky and have high defense for this seismic wave. I really like the way that they have this guy designed to just be a big to fat tank. Like it's kind of great. The Dark Euroleon. He is a support nuker, one of those early slept on units. At 6-star, he becomes an elemental resistance leader. Again, skill 3, lethal injection. Attack an enemy and apply incurable for 2 turns. This skill ignores all buffs of the target, and each buff on the target increases damage by 30%. Targets killed by this skill cannot be revived. This guy is a sneaky little nuke because he also has this honey restore 20% HP of all allies and grant immunity for 1 turn. Kind of weird to have a huge nuker also have a heal, but we do. And he has absolutely shit defense, by the way. Spike, skill 1, attack an enemy and apply incurable for 1 turn with a 100% chance. Honestly, the only place that I would use him and have used him is in PvP content because it's kind of fun because he does have a pretty serious nuke right here. Like, really high attack power. Look at the size of that attack power. Like, and the more buffs the target has, the more the damage is increased, and it ignores all the buffs anyway. Great little nuker. Dark Pumpkin Freak, he is possibly the fastest unit in the game. There might be one unit that's faster, but he is right up there. This is one of the fastest initiators in the game, if not the fastest. 6-star, he gains another 15 speed. He already has a huge base speed. Skill 3, Midnight Revelry. Grant all allies 2 turns of effect up, recover 18% HP, and additionally increase their action bar on the percentage of overhealing. So if he goes first, he's increasing their action bar by 18%. Straightforward. Yep. Skill 2, Pumpkin Shell. Remove all debuffs from the target ally and apply shield for 3 turns. The shield amount is equal to 30% of your max HP. Skill 1, Rend. Attack enemy 2 times with a 60% probability to apply defense down for 1 turn. Pumpkin Freak. Decent unit. Like I said, he's a first team, first move unit. You want him to be extremely fast. You want him to go first because he is going to be the fastest unit on the board, preferably. Yep. PvP unit. Dark Occult Dancer. I love this girl. 6-star, she gains 15 speed. She has a 33% accuracy dungeon battles leader skill for all allies. Skill 3, Innervate. Grant 2 turns of invincible to the selected ally. Grant 1 turn of invincible to all other allies. And grant 2 stacks of nullify to all allies. If any debuffs exist, trigger nullify to remove debuffs. She can pull two debuffs off, and she throws up invincible. Duet. Remove all harmful effects on both you and the target ally. Recover HP by 24% and grant 1 stack of nullify each. She is a fantastic support unit. And then she has skill 1, Solo. Attack an enemy. Damage is based on target's max HP. Again, support unit that does skill 1 target max HP is a great unit. Dark Sky Police. I absolutely love this unit as well. She gets a guild defense leader skill at 6-star. I believe it is 33%. Skill 3, Double Time. Increase the action bar of all allies by 50% and also grant them effect up and defense up. Skill 2, Enemy Trace. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turn mark. Afterward, increase your action bar by 50%. Damage is based on your defense. Skill 1, Shield of Law. Attack an enemy and inflict 1 turn defense down with an 80 to 100% chance once skilled up. Damage is based on your defense. If you get attacked, there is a 25% to counter attack with this skill. This is a great unit. I really like her in PvP content. Really love her in guild content. She is a great guild leader. I believe she is one of my airship defense leaders. Great unit. Really nice base speed as well. Dark Ant Cannon. It is amazing as well. I really like this unit. Arena Crit Leader 6-star. Win 6-star. Skill 3, Ultimate Absorb. Drain HP from an enemy that amount equals to 50% of your max HP and heal other allies equal to half of that damage dealt. Gain an extra turn if the target gets killed by this ability. You want to build with a lot of HP. It's gonna kill. It's gonna hopefully kill. It's gonna heal up half of what it does and damage. It's great. Like it's a great little heal and nuke. It's kind of great. Skill 2, Acid Cannonball. Attack all enemies and inflict 1 turn defense down. This attack will not land as a glancing hit. Skill 1, Uppercut. Biomechanic. Attack an enemy. If attack on your turn, gain another turn with a 30% chance. I really like this unit. I use it all the time, all over. I don't use it in dungeons, but I do use it in PvP all over. Dark Archon, I do not have, but it is probably great. PvP unit. Gain skill speed lead, so yeah, great PvP unit. The Dictator passive. Decrease the incoming damage and increase recovery by 15% by 50%. Increase your attack power and action bar by 50% if an enemy or an ally dies, stackable up to 5 times. Attack power and action bar by 50%. 5 times. Ouch. That gets powerful. Chaos Surge. Attack enemies 3 times randomly. Each attack has a 50% chance to inflict 2 turn defense down. This attack always counts as attribute advantage. Nice. Telekinesis. Attack an enemy 3 times. Each attack has a 60% chance to inflict 2 turn of speed down. Low multiplier, but he hits 3 times. This is a really good unit. Really good unit. He gets really powerful the longer he survives, so he needs to be tanky, and he gets a lot more powerful the more allies or enemies die. So he'd probably be pretty decent nuker for tunnel if you have one. Dark Bookworm. This guy is amazing. Amazing. Improved concussive strike when he is 6-star. Damage is based on speed, attacks all enemies, and has a 50% chance to inflict 2 turn speed down and attack down. That is skill 2, concussive strike. Skill 3, forbidden knowledge. The duration of all gained buffs and debuffs is reduced by 1 turn, but at least 1 turn remains. At the start of each turn, gain a buff that you do not already have from 1 turn of attack up, speed up, or crit up. Additionally, the bonuses you gain from these 3 buffs are increased by 50%. When you have all 3 effects, your attack will ignore the passive skills of all light attribute enemies except the boss. This guy is awesome. And skill 1, Element Bolt. Attack an enemy has a 80% chance to inflict 2 turn of incurable. This is a great little unit. He hits for a lot more than people give him credit for. This this concussive strike, when it's paired up with all this forbidden knowledge, and you gain all of this extra, all these buffs and stuff, like he starts popping for a lot of damage. Very good unit. Dark Ninrat becomes element speed leader once he's 6-star. Shadow Step, skill 3 passive. Grant yourself 2 turns of stealth when battle begins or your turn begins. Ignore target's defense by 30% and increase your effect accuracy and resistance by 50% if you are under stealth effect. Wind Shear, skill 2. Attack an enemy, inflict 2 turns of speed down, and decrease action bar by 50%. Damage is based on your speed. Attack times 150 plus speed times 1.5. It's a lot of speed multiplier right there. And he has a really nice high base speed. Shuriken Toss. Attack an enemy and inflict 1 turn damage over turn. Damage again is based on your speed. He's a decent nuker for PvP content. I don't think he'd do well in any of the tunnels or any of the bists or anything like that, but decent unit for PvP. Dark Engineer Robot. He is awesome. Awesome unit. High base speed, 95. Gains 20% accuracy when he is 6-star. He has an arena defense skill. All teammates, 33% during arena battle. Nocturnal acceleration passive, increase your action bar by 20% whenever an enemy's turn ends. Decrease the target's action bar by 20% with an 80% chance when you attack an enemy when it's skilled up. If the target's action bar is below half, deal an additional 2 damage of 1200% of your speed. 1200% of your speed. This guy is wicked. Absolutely wicked in arena. He's probably absolutely wicked everywhere else. Skill 2 leap. Jump towards an enemy with a probability of a 100% chance once skilled up to extend all debuffs by 1 turn and shorten all buffs by 1 turn while dealing damage to them. Damage is increased based on your defense. Deconstruct skill 1. Attack an enemy and has a 50% chance to remove 1 buff. Damage again based on your defense. And he has the defense leader skill of 33% in arena. Like, this is a great unit. You wanted to build him nice and fast with some defense. You wanted to have him take some hits. Gotta beware of those units that ignore defense, though. Gotta make sure he's got enough HP to survive. Dark Gunslinger. He's gonna be fun, guys. At 6-star, he gets 15% crit rate. He has a 33% attack dungeon leader skill for all teammates. Bounty Hunter passive, increase your crit rate by 2 times of your luck. Your attack applies 2 turns of mark on the target, and enemies under mark will receive 10% additional damage. Taser Shock. Attack an enemy and has a 100% chance once it is skilled up to inflict 2 turns of paralysis, speed down, and block. Yeah. Fast Draw. Attack an enemy 2 times. Damage based on your speed. Based on your speed. Fantastic unit. He will be great for dungeons. Throws up a lot of debuffs. Lots of debuffs. Got the mark here. Got another 3 debuffs right here. Paralysis, speed down, and block. Fantastic unit. Got a big buff for attack for dungeons. Fantastic dungeon unit. I'm sure he'll be great other places as well. The Dark Bomber, 20% accuracy once he is 6-starred, has a Dark teammate 33% accuracy leader skill. Skill 3, Premeditation. I'm sure this is going to be good. Passive, grants you 1 turn attack up at the start of your turn. Your attack ignores all buffs on this turn and get an additional turn after attack. If this ability is in cooldown, increase your speed by 30%. Jesus. Okay. Every 3 turns? That's premeditation right there. That's some premeditation. Detonator, skill 2. Attack an enemy has a 100% chance once it's skilled up to inflict a 1-turn defense down and a 2-turn bomb. Bomb damage is equal to 360% of your attack once it is skilled up. Nice. Cherry Bomb. Attack an enemy and has a 40% chance once skilled up to inflict a 1-turn stun. Decent little bomber right here. Decent little bomber. Buffs his own attack. It's only 1 turn, but you only need to buff his attack for 1 turn. Plants that bomb with that high attack power. That's how it's gonna blow up. Dark Ghost Captain. I have this unit. He is awesome. Gains 15 speed once he is 6-star, pushing him up to a 110. He has an all teammate 25% accuracy leader skill. Maelstrom passive. Absorb 5% of the target's action bar when attacking against targets affected by debuffs. If it's a boss, absorb an additional 5% action bar. Otherwise, absorb 5% HP. I love this guy. Phosphorescence, skill 2, attack enemies 4 times randomly. Each attack has a 60% chance to inflict 2 turns of defense down. And each one absorbs 5% of the target's action bar, or possibly 10%, or 5% of their HP. All 4 hits. Then Ghost Crew, attack an enemy and deal less damage to all other enemies around. Again, Maelstrom does activate for this, and it will hit all enemies. Love this unit. He is great anywhere you want to use him. I use him in dungeons. I did use him in dungeons. Now I have a speed team that I don't have him in, but um, I used to have him in dungeon because he did work, but he will work in dungeons. I use him for PvP now, but he will work in dungeons. He will work other places. The Dark Annihilator. He just got himself another buff as well. At 6-star, he gets a 15% crit rate. He has a 25% Dark Teammate crit leader skill. Scorpion Instinct passive. Your attacks are always considered to have attribute advantage. Whenever an enemy gains a buff from a skill, you gain 20% action bar and receive 1 stack of Foresight. That Foresight increases glancing hit by 100%. Up to a maximum of 3 stacks. Additionally, while you have Foresight, your damage dealt is increased by 50%. Always have attribute advantage, increases your damage, and anytime an enemy gets a buff, you up your Foresight, which ups your damage. That's a nice little skill right there. Overpower. Attack an enemy, remove all buffs on the target with a 100% chance. Once skilled up, deal 10% additional damage for each buff effect the target has. Had. Because this is going to pull them all off. So it's adding the damage, the buffs that the target had. Because he doesn't have them anymore. But he had them. Sting, skill 1, attack an enemy and has a 60% chance to inflict a 3-turn damage over turn. This attack ignores all buffs on the target. Again, these annihilators will eat through unyield. This is a fantastic little unit. PvP, PvE. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't bring him into some light dungeons. Not at all. I mean, he probably won't stack his Foresight, depending on the units in the dungeons, but got a lot of power. The Dark Whiskcatcher, I think this guy is underrated. He gets a 6-star dungeon resistance leader skill, which is stupid, but he has this evolution passive. Cooldown is kind of high, 8 turns even once he's skilled up, but each time this skill completes its cooldown, you will evolve 1 level up to a maximum of 3 times, increase attack power by 100% per each level, and gaining the following effects in sequence: increase crit rate by 30%, increase damage based on target's maximum HP, and gain 2 turns of shield based on damage dealt. Upon death, dissolve 1 level and revive with a 100% HP. Like, it's a long cooldown, but if you're in a long drawn out battle and this starts to stack, he's going to start doing a lot more damage, like a lot more damage, like a lot more damage. You get him up there tanky enough and you get him with some of these really nice healers, he could stack this up in a long drawn out battle, and he is going to be the bruiser that saves. That is the difference. Like, I've been hearing a lot of these top 100 players right now are in big bruiser teams. This is the anti-bruiser bruiser. The longer he is on the battlefield, the stronger he is going to get by a lot. But he's got that long cooldown. This guy is going to end up being probably one of the most meta 4-star dark units, I think, because of the bruiser team meta that I'm hearing is going on. Skill 2, Courage Strike. Attack an enemy 2 times with a 90% chance to apply Oblivion for 2 turns. for targets with a higher level than yourself. Deal an additional 2% damage per level difference. That's only going to really matter in the erect tunnel. Vortex skill 1, attack an enemy has a 70% chance to decrease the action bar by 30%. Like I said, I think he's a lot stronger bruiser than people are giving him credit for. The Dark Bear, another very strong bruiser. Um, he got a buff not too long ago, a little bit of a change. He's got the 6-star effect accuracy at 20%. Passive, Sleeping Master. When attacked, there is a 25% chance once skilled up to receive a glancing hit and automatically cast Hibernate. While in the sleep state, you can still act. And after attacking on your turn, you have a 35% chance to perform 3 additional attacks at the end of your turn. Randomly increase your action bar by 0 to 50%. Skill to Hibernate, recover 30% of your HP and gain 2 turns of sleep. Additionally, you will not wake up even if attacked. Skill 1 Gigging, attack an enemy 2 times, applying 2 turns of defense down with a 50% chance each time. Recover yourself by 30% of the damage dealt. Damage increases based on your max HP, and this will activate even if he's asleep because of the Sleeping Master. And he is going to activate this Hibernate, which recovers 30% HP due to his passive as well. 25% chance. Every time he's attacked, 25% chance that he'll just automatically heal up for 30% of his health. And he can stay asleep the whole time. It doesn't matter. He's a pretty good unit, little unit. The Dark Ripper. It's improved Reap at 6-star. We're going to start at the Reassembly passive. Revive with 15% HP upon death and counterattack using Reap. When you revive, increase the action bar of all allies by 15% and increase your attack power by 50% and life steal by 10%, stacking up to 3 times 5 turn cooldown. Reap, attack an enemy 3 times. Each attack has an 80% chance to inflict mark for 2 turns. At 6-star, he gains Oblivion. Skill 2, Insidious Strike. Attack an enemy 2 times. Each attack has a 70% chance to apply Incurable for 2 turns. Think this might be a pretty fun PvP unit. Seems hard to kill. Good at killing. I'm in the process of building one. I don't have them built yet, but I do have one. I will let you guys know once we have some tests underway. On to the 5 stars. This is where we're going to start slowing down again, guys. First up, we have the Dark String Maid. She gets improved tea time once she is 6-starred. She has a 25 speed lead for all teammates. She has the Nether Gift passive. Deal additional true damage equal to 40% of your attack power when attacking. The additional damage is doubled if the target's HP is lower than 50%, has a 10% chance to instant kill the target if HP ratio is lower than 25%. Enemy killed by you cannot be revived. This effect cannot affect boss targets. That's kind of dirty. She can insta kill from 25% of health. Tea time. Improve. She adds action bar at 6-star. Recover the HP of all allies by 26% of your max HP. Grant them 2 turns attack up and increase their action bar once she is 6-star. And this is a passive skill, so this would be her first skill. Yep, she's an initiator, so she would go first and boost the action bar, boost the attack, recover the HP. Yeah, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Then rolling shot, attack an enemy 3 times. Each attack has a 30% chance to decrease the action bar by 30%, and she deals an additional 40% true damage. And she can insta kill. It's awesome. It's a nice 5-star. Dark Puppet Artist gains 15 speed once she is 6-starred, bringing her up to a whopping what? 109. Yeah, and it's okay. Not great, but it's better. Uh, Arena Resistance Leader skill, 42% for all teammates. Nightmare passive. Remove 1 buff and inflict 1 turn of sleep on a random enemy when your turn begins. Decrease the HP by 10% whenever a sleeping unit starts its turn, except yourself. In addition, the damage you dealt won't break sleep effect. So she's like, okay. It's not really a Nat 5 skill. Although I guess she's the only one that doesn't break sleep, so I guess that is an Nat 5 skill in this. Only unit I've seen so far that doesn't break sleep. She also has a freeze and a sleep. Okay. Attack all enemies 2 times. First attack has a 50% chance to inflict 1 turn of freeze. Second chance has a 50% chance to inflict 1 turn of sleep. This skill does not inflict critical hits, but her nightmare, she will not wake anyone up if she puts them to sleep or if they're already asleep with her AoE. Huh. Huh. It's not bad. She's the only one that does it. So attack an enemy has a 30% chance to absorb the target's action bar by 15% and inflict a 1 turn sleep. Damage is based on your speed. Not horrible. I can see her being used for from PvP stuff. The Dark Assassin. I saw someone, it was either yesterday or the day before, uh, talking about this guy. He did like 100 something K damage in arena to somebody. Like, just he has an arena leader skill of 42% for all allies. He gains 15% crit rate at 6-star. Skill 3, Assassination. Attack the enemy to deal damage that ignores defense and bypasses the passive skill of anyone other than bosses. After killing the target, increase your action bar by 100%. Cloak and Poison. Apply random 1 of 4 instances of 2-turn damage over turn to an ally target. Then restore 18% HP for each debuff they have. After using the skill, gain 2 turns of stealth. Poison Shiv. Attack the target and apply 2-turn damage over turn to both yourself and the target. This effect cannot be resisted. Dark Twin Blade gets 15% crit rate once he is 6-starred. He has another 42% attack arena leader skill for all teammates. He has the Phase Blade Array passive. When attacking, if the target is not under any buffs, your damage is increased by 50%, and you deal 50% splash damage to other enemies besides the target. After the attack, if the target has any debuffs, extend all debuffs by 1 turn and randomly spread 1 debuff to other enemies besides the target. Wicked. Skill 2, Air Slash. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turns of defense down. Damage is based on the target's max HP, 8% and 330% of your attack, but 8% of the target's max HP as well. That's a nice little, and also slows the defense down. Nice little skill too. Quick slash, attack an enemy, cast air slash automatically on an enemy, on a random enemy if the target gets killed by this attack. Dark Man at Arms. He has a 33% attack leader skill for all teammates, good anywhere. He has the Victory Rush passive, skill 3, attack. When attacking, apply 1 turn damage over turn. If a critical hit is occurred, add 1 additional attack at half damage up to 2 times. When the enemy unit's health drops below 50%, if it is not your turn, your action bar will increase by 100%. That's kind of wicked also. These dark units are really freaking bad, man. Psych up. Get yourself 3 turns attack up, immunity. Jeez. Gain an extra turn after using this ability. And thrust, he removes 1 buff once he is 6-starred, and the damage increases as the target's HP gets worse. This is dirty. Dirty, 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 dirty. Very good unit. Very good unit. Really like this addition to the any health drop below. You go above, you get a boost. The Victory Rush passive. Very cool passive. Really like this. He would be a fantastic PvP unit. I mean, you want to use him as a daughter. I mean, you probably could. The Dark Iron Fist. She is one of the special effect passive. As 6-star, she gains 15 speed, bumping her up to a 100. She has a Dark Teammate, 42% HP leader skill. And then she has the Fist of Revenge passive. When attacked, apply Vengeful Mark for 1 turn to the attacker at the start of each turn. If no enemy has this effect, automatically apply it to the enemy with the lowest HP. This effect cannot be resisted and ignores immunity. When you attack an enemy with this effect, heals you by 50% of the damage dealt. So it's going to automatically give away who has the lowest HP on the enemy's team at the start of your turn. If it's not already on somebody, at the start of the turn, if it's not on somebody, it's going to automatically apply to the enemy with the lowest HP. So if they're all at max, it's going to give away their most squishy unit. That's kind of mean, but really good passive. Pressure Punch, skill 2, attack an enemy and has a 100% chance once skilled up to inflict a 2-turn defense down and a 1-turn stun. Damage is based on your defense. It does have a little bit of attack in here too. We look down here at the multiplier, but it is still based on your defense. Skill 1 Flick, attack an enemy and remove 1 buff with a 75% chance. Damage is again based on your defense, but if you look down here again, attack and defense are both included in the multiplier. Dark Doctor Evil. I've heard some complaints about him. I guess we're about to find out why. He has the 33% crit rate leader skill for all dark teammates. He gains 15 speed when he is 6-starred, bumping him up to a 108 speed. He has the curve space time passive. When applying a buff effect to allies, reduce their skill cooldowns by 2 turns. When applying a debuff effect to enemies, increase their skill cooldowns by 1 turn. Additionally, after any skill is used by an ally, including yourself, there's a 25% chance that skill will not go into cooldown. Anyone that does not like this unit is retarded. Retarded. FTL skill 2, grant all allies 2 turns of speed up and all enemies 2 turns of speed down. And that is exactly why, if you don't like this unit, you're stupid. Laser, skill 1, attack an enemy 2 times. Each attack has a 50% chance to apply 2 turns of blind. Damage is based on your speed. You want him to be fast because you want him to be popping off this skill as much as possible. so that this her space time is going off as much as possible because this unit is awesome. 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 Dark Electromancer, I have him. He is great. I love this guy. At 6 star, he gains 20% accuracy. He has a 33% attack leader skill. Skill 3, Breakdown. Attack all enemies, remove all buffs, and apply 2 turns of burn. If the buffs are successfully removed, apply 1 turn of stun. 5-turn cooldown. Don't care because it works wonders. Unstable device. Inflict a bomb to target that explodes after 2 turns. Bomb damage is equal to 520% of your attack. This ability receives an additional 30% effect accuracy. Gain an extra turn after using this ability. Shock. Attack an enemy 3 times and increases their action bar by 10% each time the attack lands as a critical hit. I love this guy. He is awesome. Great PvP unit. I don't recommend bombing dungeons, like I said before, but great PvP unit. The Dark Magic Queen, she is good wherever you can fit her in, really. Like, this girl is the bee's knees. The bee's knees right here. 6 star, she gains 20% accuracy. She has an all teammate 25 speed lead. And she has this Flight of the Bumblebee skill 3. Grant yourself 2 turns of effect up and attack all enemies 2 times. Each attack inflicts 2 turns of defense down and damage overturn. Your action bar increases by 15% each time the attack lands as a critical hit. And then she has the skill 2 Curse Melody. Attack all enemies 3 times and inflict 2 turns of defense down, incurable, and blind with an 80% chance. Damage increases by 15% for each debuff on the target. She is literally just planting debuff after debuff after debuff after debuff after debuff and then just adding the damage because of this right here. Ah, Jesus. She is fantastic. Fantastic unit. Skill 1 Dissonance. Attack an enemy and inflict 2 turn attack down with an 80% chance. Great unit. I hate fighting against her, but she's a great unit. The Dark Sorcerer, he just got a little buff because people aren't annoyed playing against him already. As 6 star, he gets a 15% crit rate. He has a 33% HP leader skill for all teammates. Magic Curtain passive, reduce wide area damage, attack damage by 20% on all allies. As long as there is an ally alive, you can evade wide area attack and use mana compress to counter attack. Additionally, increase damage by 10% each based on the difference in the number of surviving units between allies and enemies. Mana compress, attack an enemy and remove 1 buff. If successfully removed, grant yourself 1 turn of stealth. Damage increase as target's HP is better. On a flow, skill 1, attack an enemy and has a 50% chance to inflict a 1 turn of stun. He is a great PvP unit. I feel really sorry for me and everyone else that will have to deal with this asshole now. Dark Mr. Barbarian. He gains 15% crit rate once he is 6-starred. He has a 42% dark teammate defense leader skill. Chain effect passive decreases the critical damage all allies receive by 30% and increases the action bar of all allies by 10% if an ally receives a critical hit. Increase their action bar by 50% if an ally drops below 30%. Savage Rush, attack an enemy. The damage increases as your HP gets worse. If your HP is below 30%, this attack ignores target's defense. Boom, shakalaka, boom. Skill 1, Smash. Attack an enemy, inflict 2 turn damage over turn if the attack lands as a critical hit. He is a great unit. This passive is wicked. The Dark Merc Mom. I have heard people complaining about her. I fought one recently. She was a pain in the ass. So we're gonna get into her skills right now. Once she has 6 stars, she improves her back swipe. We'll get into that. She has a 25% crit rate leader skill for all teammates. Armed to the Teeth passive creates a 2-turn shield that is equal to 240% of your defense if you get attacked. Counterattack enemy if you get attacked with a shield. Your damage increases by 50% of the shield amount. She was literally the last unit standing, and it took me like 10 minutes to get her ass down. Attack an enemy 2 times. Each attack has an 80% chance to inflict 2-turn defense down. Afterward, grant yourself 2 stacks of provoke. Damage is based on your defense. It has a little bit of attack built into the damage engine. Damage modifying it. Whatever the damage engine right here. Back swipe, skill 1. Attack an enemy has a 50% chance to inflict 1 turn of stun. Damage is based on your defense. 6-star, the effect rate goes up to 50. Or does it go up to 100? If it's 100, this is a lot better because it has this, yeah, it has this built-in revenge mechanic. So if this is 100% stun rate, that's pretty good. And I could see why she was such a pain for me to deal with. That would explain it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. She's going to stun when she counterattacks, and she's got the revenge built into her passive. Yeah. Very strong unit. Very strong. Dark Wandering Monk. He is another very, very strong unit. He is a 6-star. He gains 20% accuracy. He has a 33 speed guild battle leader skill. All teammates, does not matter. Anti-magic passive. Whenever an enemy uses a non-attack ability, remove 1 buff and inflict 2 turns silence to the enemy with highest action bar. Your attack deals additional damage that is equal to 13% of your max HP. Skill 2, Penance. Remove all debuffs on you and gain 2-turn counter. Afterwards, grant 2-turn healing over turn to all allies. Skill 1, Punish. Attack an enemy 3 times with a 70% chance to apply 2 turns of defense down with the first 2 attacks. He also deals 13% of his max HP in damage because of his anti-magic passive. This guy is really good for guild content, obviously. Very good. Dark Psycho Surgeon. He has an all-around crit damage, 25% for all teammates. First one of those, probably only one since we've only got a couple more units. Only all-around crit damage leader skill. He gains 20% accuracy when he is 6-starred. And he has this infection passive. When attacking enemies with debuffs, each debuff increases damage by 30%. When attacking enemies without debuffs, randomly transfer 1 debuff from our side to the target. That's mean. Additionally, nullify debuff effects you possess and extend the duration of debuff effects you apply by an additional turn. I have a new most wanted unit. I think this might be my new most wanted unit. Asphyxiating gas, attack all enemies, and has an 80% chance to inflict 2 turns of incurable and decrease action bar by 50%. Damage is based on your speed. What? Yep, my new number one. I want this guy the most. I want this guy. Slice, attack an enemy, has a 70% chance to inflict 2-turn damage over turn. Damage based on your speed. 3-turn cooldown. All this, yeah, yeah. And he's got the crit damage. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, this guy gonna be good. Dark Sphere Sage, I absolutely hate fighting against this unit in tunnel. 20% resistance, leader skill. All teammates get a 42% defense during arena battle, leader skill. Then he's got this Black Core passive, reflects 30% of the damage received, transforms into core form when other allies are attacked, and accumulates damage. When you attack the enemy, adds damage equal to 15% of the accumulated damage and resets after the attack. Core form is immune to debuffs and action bar reducing effects, but cannot be controlled. At the beginning of the turn, if there is no accumulated damage value, revert to Sage form. While in core form, additionally grant all allies a 20% damage reduction effect, reflection effect. I have literally sat and literally gotten killed off by one of these guys in core form in a tunnel. Not gonna lie. A pain in the ass. Pulse Nova. I think they fixed this. Didn't this say Plus Nova before? This used to say Plus Nova. There's no way that this is different. Taxel enemy has an 8% chance to increase their cooldown by 1 turn. Yeah, this used to say Plus. This said Plus. They fixed this. That was not in the patch notes, but they fixed this. Automatically cast this ability when in core form with a lower damage and effect rate. Yeah. This used to say Plus Nova. This said Plus Nova. They've been watching my videos. This said Plus. Impact, remove attack an enemy with 2 times. Each attack remove 1 buff on the target with a 50% chance. Jeez. English much. Dark Specialist. 6-star, gains 20% accuracy. She has a 30% defense all around leader skill. Mechanical Rampage passive. Attack enemy. After attack in your turn, a drone fires a laser beam to attack the enemy with lowest HP and applies 1 turn of defense down. If the target is affected by paralysis, it will absorb all of the target's action bar and increase your attack power by 100%, up to 3 times. You and your drone cannot crit or glance and cannot be countered. You and your drone cannot crit or glance and cannot be countered. So you're not putting any crit rate on her. System hacking, deploy drones to attack, stealing 1 buff and causing damage equal to 20% of your max HP and applying 2 turns of paralysis. Is this 1 unit? Is it multiple units? It doesn't say. Drones cannot crit or glance and cannot be countered. Yeah, I got that from the passive. It just says deploy drones to attack. I mean, is it attacking 1 person? Is it attacking all of them? I don't know. Anybody that has a dark specialist, let me know how this skill 2 works. If this drone, if it attacks both or one or all or just one, um, you want her to be super tanky, a lot of attack power, a lot of HP, good amount of defense. As you want her to survive and stack this mechanical rampage. Attack an enemy on your turn, drone fire after you attack on your turn, the drone fires. So you gotta live at least 3 times to stack her attack power. She's gotta live three turns to stack her attack power. But she's not gonna crit, so no crit rate, no crit damage. You're gonna want some accuracy to get this paralysis off so that she will absorb that action bar and increase the attack power. Because you want her to get this paralysis on, so she's got to have a lot of accuracy. So a lot of accuracy, a lot of HP, a lot of attack, decent defense. because you want her to stack this passive. She's got to stack it 3 times. Great little unit though. Great little unit. The Dark War Nurse. This is going to be the last unit of this episode because we will cover all of the new fairies in a different one. But this is the Dark War Nurse. Everyone gets her from the mission event that is on the left hand of your screen. She is the mission 240 reward. She is a fantastic unit for tunnel. She can be used in dungeons. She can be used in abyss. She has a 33% HP team leader skill for all teammates. Skill 3, she has this chemical barrage. Launch 6 missiles to sequentially attack each enemy. Reduce their action bar by 50% when hitting a target with a debuff effect. Extend their skill cooldown by 1 turn and shorten the skill cooldown of a random ally other than yourself by 1 turn. And deal damage proportional to the enemy's max HP. 6% times 6 max HP. It's a lot of max HP. 6 times 6, 36%. Local anesthesia, attack the enemy, apply oblivion and defense down for 2 turns. Add action bar decrease and decrease cooldown once she is 6-starred. Injection, skill 1, attack an enemy and recover 18% of the HP of the ally with the lowest health. Again, great all around unit. Really love her. And that was the end of the dark units. I hope you guys will come and see me for the fairy units that I will do in a little while. But that was all the dark units. Wanted to get this out. That ends our fun little deep dive into all of the units of Element Fission. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will get back to the wars next week. That was fun, wasn't it? Wasn't it fun? Have a great one, guys.